sir.
Right. सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नीराजनं मया दत्तग्रहाण वरदो भव गणनीराजनं समर्पयामि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ नमो भगवते विराजेश्वराय। ॐ नमो भगवते विराजेश्वराय। ॐ नमो भगवते विराजेश्वराय। ॐ नमो भगवते विराजेश्वराय। हरि ओम तत्सत्। ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಸರ್ವರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Shrotriya Sadguru Swami Sri Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara, on behalf of all of us, today's discourse will commence with the Mangalacharana Shlokas, Guru Vandana. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smruti Purananamayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakrutam Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranadosmiham. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya. Hari Om. Before we start today's discourse, one or two small points. ಕೆಲವು ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿಷಯಗಳು, ಬಹಳ ಗಂಭೀರವಾದ ವಿಷಯಗಳು. ಅದು ಮುಂದೆ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮಗೆ ವೇದಾಂತದ ಕೆಲವು ಶಬ್ದಗಳನ್ನು ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ವಿವೇಕ ಚೂಡಾಮಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಂಶಯಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸುವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಭಗವಂತನನ್ನ ಅರಿಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಮನಸ್ಸಿದ್ದಾಗ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ತಾಪತ್ಯಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಂಶಯ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ
What does the Washington Monument mean to them? They see something sort of different than maybe a secular visitor to the monument seems, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a couple stories that I think are worth recounting there. One is, it is a sacred space. I mean, I don't use that term lightly as a scholar of religion, but for the people I was with, the Washington Monument it's divine. It's a connection to a religious past. So I was there with one group and observed a man just sort of walking around. It was, it's always hot in these stories. It was hot. So we were sitting, in the little tiny slice of shade of the shadow of the monument. And I watched one of the tourists walk around. And he put his hand up against the monument, just sort of tentatively. And then he oil.
Not here, Padaki ji.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. He's become mute. We can go live now, sir.
Okay. ಹರಿ ಓಂ ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಸರ್ವರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಗುರುವಂದನೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಮಂಗಳಾಚರಣ ಶ್ಲೋಕದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ. We commence our discourse with again ಮಂಗಳಾಚರಣ ಶ್ಲೋkas or Guru Vandana. Prostrating at the lotus feet of our Shrotriya Brahmanishta Sadguru Sri Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara, on behalf of all of us, with total Shraddha, Bhakti and devotion, these Mangalacharana shlokas will be first recited. Then the discourse will commence. Sarvarigo Namaskaragal. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smruti Purananamalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Before today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani, please.
ಏನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Please mute your sets, Mr. Nagaraj. Mute your set, please. There are one or two small points we have to start today. Small disturbances always will be there because it is a new experience to all of us, at least for me, sitting here on the online. So some disturbances will be there and we will rectify as and when things happen. My constant request is mute your laptop or mobile, whatever it is, till the discourse is completed, and also till the Rama Bhajan short duration that is completed. After that, question answer session will be there. Then we can talk to each other very freely, sir. So I request once again, all of you. One or two small points I said earlier. ಇದುವರೆಗೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಭಗವಂತನ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಭಗವಂತನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆತ್ಮವಿಚಾರ ಅಥವಾ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮೋಕ್ಷ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಹತೆಗಳಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ಆ ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸು ಅಥವಾ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಭಗವಂತನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಪರೀತವಾದಂತಹ ನಂಬಿಕೆ, ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆತನನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಈ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಭಾವ. See, mumukshu or jijnasu means the person with a burning desire to know God himself, or to have darshan of God, or to have Bhagavat Sakshatkara, or in different ways and words, to have Atma Sakshatkara. All these things mean ultimately to know the reality, to know the truth, the absolute truth. That means to know himself. Who am I? It comes down to the same point. I should know really who I am. Then things will become very, very contented, peaceful in life. Then your vision, when it becomes inward, the secrets will open automatically by the grace of God or Guru. So when these things were there, some doubts are there in the mind of householders like you and me. We are common householders. Sir, madam, we are not sannyasis. Sir, we are not sannyasis. How can we follow all these things, sir? How can I be a mumukshu or jijnasu? How can I be seriously thinking of sadhana? How can I do all these things what Acharya says? Such questions are there in the minds of most of us. See, one basic point our Gurudev was talking all the time, referring to householders, referring to married people, referring to bachelors who are not sannyasis, who are not yatis, referring to us only he was talking. In fact, householders are in a much more better position to do sadhana because, see, they take care of your daily duties of maintenance of the life, maintenance of the family. At the same time, you are interested to turn towards God. You are in a much better position. So don't feel sorry. Don't feel disheartened. Don't feel discouraged. That's what our Gurudev was talking all the time. He was always saying this. Just because you are a married person, don't lose the heart. Where there is a will, there is a way. Have determination. See, God will see our heart inside, how much it is pure and longing for God's darshan. God will see that only, not your other things in life. Whether you are a Vedic scholar, whether you are a sannyasi or not, whether you know Shastras are correctly, whether you know all the scriptures correctly, these things are secondary. What is important is love towards God, love towards our fellow human beings, and to know the purpose of my life, why I am born. See, these things are important. So that is a point why I said all these things. Now, Acharya is going to explain further what are the 4 basic qualifications for a person to do meditation or sadhana or spiritual sadhana. To person to become more spiritual, basic 4 qualifications are there. What are the basic qualifications? About the mental setup he is talking now. The mental setup of a sadhaka or a spiritual aspirant who is an adhikari himself, how it should be. In the next shlokas, all these things are coming. I am summarizing very, very briefly here. See, the 4 mental qualities what I should possess. Basic. Number 1, Viveka. He calls it, as Acharya says, Viveka. Number 2, simply Vairagya. See, Viveka, number 1. Vairagya, number 2. Number 3, Shat Sampatti. 6 levels of mental modification. Shat means 6. Shat Sampatti. That is the 3rd mental qualification we should possess. The 4th one is Mumukshutva. That is the burning desire. I should know about myself. See, these 4 mental setups are there, one after another, one leading to the other. We should have all the 4. Then only you become eligible, in the sense you become open up to enter into the sadhana mode. That is what Acharya starts from the beginning. Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Sampatti and Mumukshutva. 4. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಈಗ ಬರೋ ಈ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಾಧಕನಿಗೆ ಮಾನಸಿಕವಾಗಿ ಸಿದ್ಧತೆ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 4 ವಿಧವಾದ ಸಿದ್ಧತೆಗಳು ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಾಧಕ ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಭಗವದ್ ದರ್ಶನ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಗುರುಮುಖೇನ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 4 ವಿಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಆತನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು, ಆತನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿವೇಕ ಇರಬೇಕು, ವೈರಾಗ್ಯ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಷಟ್ ಸಂಪತ್ತಿ ಬರಬೇಕು ಆತನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷತ್ವ ಇರಬೇಕು ಕೊನೆಯದು. ಇದನ್ನ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿಸಿ 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 ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Before going into the 4 mental qualifications for Adhikari himself, see, please remember, whether you are a Manda Adhikari or a Madhyama Adhikari or Uttama Adhikari, qualified, you need to possess 4 mental setups. Number 1 is Viveka. What is Viveka? Short, very brief, to understand, to reflect upon, to know correctly what is Nitya and what is Anitya. What is permanent, eternally present, what is not permanent, what is not eternally present, what is always changing. So what is Anitya? That which changes, that is which is not permanent, that which appears and that which disappears one fine day. That is Anitya. What is Nitya? That which remains constantly without any change. Constantly. Whether it is the past, present or future. In all the 3 avasthas. Constant, constant, constant. Omnipresent. Omnipresent. That is Nitya. So understanding the difference between the 2. That is Viveka. That is your capacity, mental capacity, your intelligence as you call, reasoning power, discerning power. Viveka. Nitya yavudu, anitya yavudu anta tilkolodu Viveka. Then he says about Vairagya. What is Vairagya? Vairagya ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ತಪ್ಪು ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಗೃಹಸ್ಥರಿಗೆ. ಏನು, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಮದುವೆ ಆದವರಲ್ವಾ, ವೈರಾಗ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಕಾವಿ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿ ತರ ತಲೆ ಬೋಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೈಲಿ ದಂಡ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಜಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ, ಹಿಮಾಲಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದ, ನಾವು ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಅಯ್ಯಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಅದಲ್ಲ ವೈರಾಗ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ. ಕಾವಿ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ. ವೈರಾಗ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾನಸಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಸೆಗಳನ್ನ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋದು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. It is sort of your self-analysis, your own analysis. How much I can give up. Vairagya means dispassion. Vairagya means detachment as much as possible. Vairagya simply doesn't mean that you have to wear a sannyasi dress or a ochre cloth, shave your head, have a staff in the hand and walk down. It is not that. Vairagya means total dispassion, aversion to your worldly life, worldly pleasures, joyous things, sensuous things in life. Okay, they're all there. If I go behind them constantly, I will die one day. I will never reach God. So let me not bother about them. So slow detachment, that is Vairagya. And also, Viveka Vairagya, then Shat Sampatti, Acharya calls. Bhagavad Pada. He says, Shama Adi Shat Sampatti. Shat means 6. What are the 6 qualities we should possess? One is Shama. These are all Sanskritam words. Shama. Next is Dama. Shama, Dama. Then comes Uparati. Then comes Titiksha. Then comes Shraddha. Then the last one, Samadhana. See, one leads to the other. One leads to the other. So there are 6 mental vrittis or mental modifications appearing and purifying our mind for a sadhaka, a spiritual, real spiritual aspirant. In a short, you please remember, because that again is taken up in the shlokas. Shama simply means for us householders, married people, in the AD 2020, what is it I should remember? Shama, we don't know. Not to bother. Shama means Controlling the mind, basic core point. Shama means controlling the mind. What is then Dhamma? Another word? We don't know that. Dhamma means controlling your sense organs. See, mind and sense organs, there is a difference. Controlling your sense organs, Dhamma. Then Uparati. Uparati means what? Always we are in the world seeing and listening and talking and touching and smelling and eating. Our faculties are open 24 hours into the world. We are outwardly looking. So Uparati means withdrawing the mind from these surroundings as much as possible. In the real sense, Uparati means stay aloof, stay silent, stay in your japa as much as possible. Stay in meditative mode as much as possible. Stop talking to people as much as possible unless it is required. Stop going out as much as possible unless it is required. Stop enjoying your adventurous trips, jolly trips, holiday trips, meeting with friends, weekend parties, weekend get-togethers. Stop as much as possible. As much as possible. That is Uparati. Uparati is withdrawing again our mind and ultimately powerful organ. See, different words indicate the same point. What is Titiksha? Titiksha, I remember how beautifully our Gurudeva once told me. Personally, he told me. He said, look, in this Kali Yuga, in this age of Kali, where Maya is 100-fold, totally, completely surrounded the entire human psyche, completely, we are totally deluded. Adharma is rising, dharma is going down. So the best form of tapas, the highest form of meditation, please listen carefully. What our Gurudev told me. The highest form of tapas or meditation in this Kali Yuga, it is not possible for you to sit for 50 years, 30 years, 40 years, 100 years in a forest and do tapas as it was done in the ancient times, in the Vedic times. People used to sit in the forest, foregoing food, foregoing water for years together. That is not possible in this Kali Yuga. So the best form of tapas or meditation here is Titiksha. Our Gurudev said. So what is Titiksha? The highest form of tapas, highest form of meditation. What does it mean? Titiksha andre, very simple. Whatever sufferings are there in my life, right from my childhood till now, or till I die, so much of sufferings we have seen, have undergone, crisis I have undergone, physical problems, physical pain, so much in the form of chronic ailments, diseases, accidents, somebody dearer to me dying in front of me, all these things which result in pain, physical pain when there is a disease, mental pain when something happens in front of you which you can't change it. So ultimately the suffering, to endure that suffering wholeheartedly without making anybody else responsible for that. Andre, ನಾವೇನ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ತಿತಿಕ್ಷಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವುದೋ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊ, ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಧಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ತಾಪತ್ರಯ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣೆದುರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಣ್ಣವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣೆದುರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಗ, ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳು, ಸಣ್ಣ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನ ಮಗ ತೀರೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಪುತ್ರ ಶೋಕ ನಿರಂತರ ಆಯ್ತು. ಅದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ತಡೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವೇ? ನಮಗಿಂತ ಸಣ್ಣ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣೆದುರಿಗೆ ತೀರು ಹೋದಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ತಡೆಯೋದು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ? ತಡೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಲೈಫ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಸಫರಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಎಂಡ್ಯೂರ್ ದಟ್ ಸಫರಿಂಗ್ without asking anybody, without pointing your finger to others, why it is like that. So that is Titiksha. Shraddha, next word. Shraddha means what? Shraddha is your total faith and conviction in Shastra Vakya, that is Mahavakyas of Upanishads, and Guru's Upadesha. Your conviction, your belief 100% in what the Guru says and what the Shastras, scriptures, Upanishads say, they are proof to themselves. No logic here. No logic. Total belief. Pure belief. It is not simply blind belief. It is with a clarity belief. That is Shraddha. Then finally, what is that? Samadhana. Samadhana means what? There is a Sanskritam word. Samadhana means your mind becoming tranquil as much as possible. Becoming totally balanced as much as possible. Samabhava, prasanna bhava of the mind. And the mind always resting on the goal. That is, mind always reflecting and thinking about God Himself. So when the mind is turned towards God, that is samadhana. See, these are the important words to be used now. So we'll start with this. Sadhananyatra chatvari kathithani manishibhi yeshu satyaiva sannistha yadbhave na siddhyati. Sadhana anyatra chatvari kathithani manishibhi yeshu satyaiva sannistha yadbhave na siddhati. ಈ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮನೀಷಿಭಿಹಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು, ಸದ್ಗುರು, ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂಪನ್ನರು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಮನೀಷಿಭಿಹಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, 4 ವಿಧವಾದ ಸಾಧನಗಳು ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠೆ ಲಭಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ Acharya says Manishibhi means the great Brahmajnanis, the realized masters, the sages, the realized sage himself, the person who has understood the truth, absolute truth, Brahmavida, Atmavida, Atmanishtha. Such people here Acharya refers as Manishibhi. So they say that there are 4 mental qualities required, Baba, to develop Brahmanishtha, to develop Brahmajnana, or go towards Brahmajnana. Next shloka. Ado nitya nitya vastu vivekaha pariganyate iha mutra phala bhoga viragas tadanantaram shamadhi shatka sampattir mumukshutvam iti sputam. Acharya now says, Ado nitya nitya vastu vivekaha pariganyate. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸಾಧನ ಸಾಧಕನಿಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದು ನಿತ್ಯಾನಿತ್ಯ ವಸ್ತು ವಿವೇಕ. ಇಹಾಮುತ್ರ ಬಲಭೋಗ ವಿರಾಗಸ್ತದನಂತರಂ. ಎರಡನೇ ಆತನ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸಿದ್ಧತೆ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆತನ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಹಾಮುತ್ರ ಫಲಭೋಗ ವಿರಾಗ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿಯಾಗಬೇಕು. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಶಮಾದಿ ಷಟ್ಕ ಸಂಪತ್ತಿರ್ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷುತ್ವಂ ಮಿತಿ ಸ್ಫುಟಂ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಶಮಾದಿ ಗುಣಗಳು, 6 ಗುಣಗಳು ಆತನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಮುಕ್ಷುತ್ವ, ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸತ್ವ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನನ್ನ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನನ್ನ ಪಡಿಲೇಬೇಕು, ಭಗವಂತನನ್ನ ಪಡಿಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕ ತೀವ್ರವಾದ ಆಸೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಇವು 4 ಬೇಕು, ಒಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್, ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್. ಅದೋ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಿತ್ಯ ವಸ್ತು ವಿವೇಕ ಪರಿಗಣ್ಯತೆ ಇಹಾಮುತ್ರ ಫಲಭೋಗ ವಿರಾಗಸ್ತದನಂತರಂ. Look as Jnani Mahatmans, the sages say, the first quality is Nitya Vastu Viveka. Nitya plus Anitya Vastu Viveka. In short, it is simply called Viveka. What is the Nitya and Anitya Vastu Viveka? Our buddhi, intellect, the mind should clearly first have that knowledge given by the Guru. What is that knowledge? It should be assimilated into our brain first. What is that? We should understand that correctly. What is that? What is Nitya? What is Anitya? That is the Viveka. So discrimination, your perfect reasoning, reflection, contemplation, thinking and rethinking on the same line, contemplating and reflecting by manana. A sadhaka should know what is Nitya, what is Anitya. That is a Viveka. So what is Nitya? What is, which is permanently present, eternal, no beginning, there is no origin, no end, there is no death. It is as it is. It is always, it is. There ends the matter. There is nothing like it was born earlier, it is changing now, it will change again. Nothing like that. Permanently, eternally, primordially, it is always there where there is no birth and death for that. For that padartha, for that vastu, that is Brahma padartha. In simple language, we call it as God. So that vastu or Brahma padartha is Nitya. Nitya means permanent, eternally present, without any change. What is Anitya? That the whole samsara, this world, if right from my body, my ego, my ahankara, my mind, my buddhi, everything included, this body-mind complex, and the entire samsara. This is Anitya. I should think correctly like that. Anitya means what? It is there today. Yes. After a few years, in the larger time scale, you start stretching your mind. What happens? I will die. All my kids and kins will die. My children will die. My grandchildren will die, just like my parents, just like my grandparents, just like myself. Everyone will die. Everyone will vanish. Die means we have appeared now. We disappear in some day, some time later in the future time. Nobody is permanent. What about the things in the whole world? They appear to be present, but they will also change. They will also disappear. Buildings, they may remain for 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. Okay, fine. Even some 500 years, even for 1,000 years. But later, they will vanish. They will crumble into the dust. They become part of the dust. Everything will vanish. If you stretch like that, your scientific temperament, you know very well. Even the entire, our solar system will go away one day after millions and millions and millions of years. The sun will stop radiating. The sun itself will collapse. All the planets around the sun in the solar system will collapse. That is known. So that is Anitya in that sense. So what is Nitya? Brahma Padartha, God. This discrimination should be there very correctly. Tadanantara, Ihamutra Palabhoga Viragas Tadanantaram. Afterwards, Acharya says, once you know this, then you develop Vairagya. Viraga means Vairagya, dispassion, aversion, not much attached. See, Iha plus Amutra Phala Bhoga Viraga, long word. It means what? Every one of us want to enjoy our life now. We are not even thinking that one day I will die. Nobody will think on that line. Pessimistic attitude, as people call. If I start repeating that to everyone, look, Baba, you are going to die one day, they will declare unequivocally that I am a mad fellow, something is wrong with my brain, so put him in the mental hospital. Because nobody wants to be reminded constantly that, look, you are going to die one day. You are going to die one day. Nobody wants this reminder in their mind. Nobody wants this sentence to come to their life every time, because we want to enjoy the life. As much as enjoyment here in this world, and Karmakanda of the Vedas say that after the death, how to go to the heaven. There also how to enjoy. To reach heaven, what is that you have to do? Iha means now while living. Amutra means even after death. That is going to heaven. Phala, you want to enjoy. You want the enjoyment there. So, both now and later, we want to enjoy. While living, even after death, going to heaven, we want to enjoy. We don't want to go to hell, correct? Nobody will say, I don't mind going to hell. Everybody will say, I want to go to heaven only after death. So, iha amutra phalabhoga viraga. A sadhaka should not bother on those things. Whether you want to enjoy now or after going to heaven after death. Never think on those lines. Because our motto or the goal is something different. So that is vairagya, dispassion, detachment of all the worldly pleasures. Then shamadhi shat sampatti, 6 mental modifications. Then mumukshatva, burning desire to. That's what he says. Now, here, the earlier small one doubt I had raised before we started, that is the questions, how they come. Again, I take up that question once again. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದೇಹಗಳು ಉಳಿದೇ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು, ನಮಗೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ನಮಗೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇನದು ವಿವೇಕ ಅಂತೆ, ವೈರಾಗ್ಯ ಅಂತೆ, ಶಮ ದಮ ಉಪರತಿ ತಿತಿಕ್ಷಾ ಅಂತೆ, ಏನ್ ಶಬ್ದಗಳಪ್ಪ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ನಮಗೆ ದೇವರ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಏನೋ ದೇವರ ಸ್ತೋತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಡವೇ ಬೇಡಪ್ಪ ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮದ, ಈ ತಂಟೆನೇ ಬೇಡ, ಸಹವಾಸವೇ ಬೇಡ, ನಮೋ ನಮಃ ಅಂತ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. So a lot of such questions are there in the mind of all, sometimes even sadhakas also. Whether really do I qualify myself to do sadhana? When Acharya is saying so much that you should have this quality, you should have that quality, I don't have any quality at all. I don't know all these things. Then am I eligible or not? It means, can I reach God or not in this birth? So mind becomes dull. Mind becomes totally agitated. Lot of tension and worry. It happens. Even in sadhakas it happens. I have seen number of people have raised such objections. So with folded hands, please listen to me. There is nothing to feel again pessimistic. Nothing to feel like that, because all Mahatmas have said one thing. The very fact, the very idea that I want to know God, the very idea here that I want to reach God, the very idea that I want to have the sakshatkara of God, the very idea that I want to know who really I am, that itself is a grace bestowed by God on all of us. So we are all adhikaris to reach God. This is the important point all Mahatmas have said, including our Gurudev. All Mahatmas. Even if you have a little much of faith, it is enough. God will take you into his fold. So don't lose the hope. Don't lose the hope. Doesn't matter what you are. Doesn't matter whether you know scriptures or not. Doesn't matter whether you know Sanskritam or not. Doesn't matter whether you have studied under a efficient Brahmanishta, Shrotriya, Atmajnani Sadguru or not. All such doubts should not be there. You have sincerity in your approach. You be sincere. Your approach should be sincere. And those who have Guru in their life, in this lifetime, they are totally blessed. Because Guru is there to take care. I will give a small example which most of us know, especially our Maharashtrian Guru Bandhus who are in Maharashtra. They know this very well. I may not be able to express that example very well, but still. You remember there was a famous saint during the 14th, 15th, 16th century, around 400 years back, 500 years back. Maharashtra state in India was full of Bhakti Rasa, poured by Mahatmans and sages. Like Sant Jnaneshwar appeared in the 14th century beginning. Later than Sant Tukaram appeared, Sant Namdev appeared, Sant Ekanath appeared. All great personalities, great Mahatmans, Param Purushottama. So there, one small example I'm touching here itself. When Sant Ekanath had number of disciples, in the fag end of his physical body days, he knew the body is going to fall off shortly. So by the prerana of Vithala, his Aradhya Daiva, he started writing Marathi translation of Bhagavata written in Sanskritam by Vedavyasa Maharshi. So that Bhagavatam was being translated first time into the Marathi language, local language of Maharashtra state, by Sant Ekanath. Almost he finished, just maybe some 10-20% was left, translation. He knew that his end time has come. He called his close disciples and told them that this completion of the translation, what I have started, it is incomplete. It will be completed by that particular disciple, that Shishya of mine. You go and bring him and tell him. The other disciples who are very close to Sant Ekanath Ji were astonished what he is talking, our Guru. Our Guru is talking about an ordinary person who claims himself to be disciple of Sant Ekanath, very ordinary fellow, who doesn't know anything, no scriptural knowledge, no Vedic knowledge, nothing, no Sanskrit knowledge, nothing at all. Nothing at all. And our Guru is calling him to complete this. He doesn't know ABCD of Sanskritam itself. And that fellow is always fond of eating what we call as Puran in Marathi language. That is, I don't know the appropriate English word for that. A sweet pancake made up of wheat flour or gram flour and then jaggery beautifully with oil and ghee. So that's called Puran in Maharashtra, Marathi language. So that fellow was always fond of eating that. He used to prepare himself beautifully, tasty, those pancakes, eat them first. Without eating, he never used to come out of his room. Then serve the Guru. Then do the Guru Seva. See, the reverse. So others were jealous of this fellow. This fellow always eats such a wonderful sweet pancakes first, prepares and eats away, and then like a lord he comes for Guru Seva. What does he know? But ultimately Sant Ekanath knew and he called him. He told him, you do this work which is to be completed by you. So he was nicknamed, that fellow disciple was nicknamed as Puran Poda, something like that. I'm not very proficient in the Marathi language. And by the Guru's grace, by the grace of Sant Ekanath Ji, this fellow who was nicknamed as Puran Poda completed the Marathi translation of Bhagavatam just by his total conviction and faith in Guru. Because Guru said, you do it. He said, okay, you are doing it. I'm not doing anything. He completed it. And everyone appreciated later. He became a realized fellow later. See how the Guru's grace works. So if you have a Guru in your life in this birth. Feel always highly you are blessed in life. So nothing to worry at all. Even if you don't have a guru, let us say, some of you may think in that direction. Yo, we don't have anybody to call himself guru. We don't know how to select a guru. You cannot select a guru. Please remember, you are not that level to select a guru. Your thinking and intellect will not help here. God will decide whether you'll get a guru in this birth or not. But have faith in God. If you don't have guru, no problem at all. Have faith in God. Surrender to God. At appropriate time, He will show the grace. So next, he starts with what is this Nitya Nitya Viveka. Next sloka. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithyetyevam Rupo Vinishchayah Soyam Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka Samudafrutah. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Ityevam Rupa Vinishchayah Soyam Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka Samudafrutah. Nitya Nitya Viveka discrimination. Acharya gives his own, the most famous sentence in Advaita philosophy, the core point in Advaita philosophy, that is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, he says, Acharya Bhagavat. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Acharyara, idu bahala prasiddhavada ukti ಅಥವಾ ವಾಣಿ. ಅದ್ವೈತ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸತ್ಯಂ ಜಗನ್ಮಿಥ್ಯ. ಬಹಳ ಚುಟುಕಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂದರ್ಭಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕ ಹಾಗೆ ಎರಡೇ ಶಬ್ದದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮುಂದೆ ಬಹಳ ವಿಶದವಾಗಿ ಬರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈಗ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೇಳೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸತ್ಯಂ ಜಗನ್ಮಿಥ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಆತನೇ ನಿತ್ಯ, ಆತನೇ ಸತ್ಯ. ಸತ್ಯ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆತ ನಿತ್ಯವಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ನಿತ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ನಿತ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಆತನ ಸತ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ಜಗತ್ ಮಿಥ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ಜಗತ್ ಮಿಥ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಜಗತ್ತು ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ್ದು, ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪದ್ದು. ಇದು ಹಗಲು ಕನಸು ಕಂಡ ಹಾಗೆ, ಇದು ನಾವು ಕನಸು ಕಂಡ ಹಾಗೆ, ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಮಿಥ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಚರ್ಚೆಗಳು 1000 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಆ ಚರ್ಚೆಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನು ವಿಶದವಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಯಾವ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸತ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾವ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನದಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಲಿಸಿದರೆ ಜಗತ್ತು ಸತ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮಿಥ್ಯ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧವಾದ ತಮ್ಮ ಸೂತ್ರ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸತ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸತ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು? ಯದ್ರೂಪೇಣ ಯನ್ನಿಶ್ಚಿತಂ ತದ್ರೂಪೇಣ ನ ವ್ಯಭಿಚರತಿ. ಯಾವುದು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲವೋ ಅದು ಸತ್ಯ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸತ್ಯ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ the core point in the Advaita Siddhanta is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Acharya says. He has quoted that, he has explained that in detail in all his Sutra Bhashyas. And it has been beautifully quoted by all other Acharyas and people who are sages, who are Brahmajnanis in the last 1000 years in our Indian history of spiritual development. So the standpoint at which Acharya Bhagavatpada says Brahma Satyam and Jagan Mithya. The one small confusion here, basic. See, we are not going into the deep of this statement because it takes a different issue itself, lot of time. When Acharya says Jagan Mithya, it is not, he is not meaning Jagat, the world is false. Please remember. He is not saying world is false. He is only saying it is mithya from the standpoint of Brahma, Paramatma. The way Brahma is nitya, in that way Jagat is not nitya. That is why it is mithya. It is only a mirage. It is only a dream. So the dream appears to be real when we are dreaming. We are part of the dream, correct? You don't say it is unreal. But when you wake up, you will say, oh, it was only a dream. So after waking up, you know it was a dream. But while dreaming, dream appears to be real. That is why it's called mithya. Jagat appears to be real, but not when compared to the standpoint of Brahma himself. Brahma Padartha, Paramatma himself. So this is false. To say it is false, Acharya is using the word mithya. He is not saying that what you see from your eyes and what you hear from your ears, everything is bankam bogus. He is not talking like that at all. People mistake this point. Oh, when you say Jagan Mithya means everything is false, means how are you living then? And your Upadesha is also false. The Guru himself is a false identity. Shishya is a false identity. Vedas are false identity. Upanishads, false identity. So the argument goes on and on. That's why it is a big topic. We are not talking on that line. Only simple, what Acharya says. The way Paramatma is Satya, eternal, ever-changing, never-changing, ever-present, omnipresent, and Sarvajna, omniscient. Jagat is not like that. The world is not like that. That is why Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya is that part of Viveka, discerning, thinking, analyzing, reflection. So this is called Viveka. What is Nitya, what is Anitya, to know that. Tad Vairagyam Jihasaya Darshana Shravanadivihi Dehadi Brahma Paryante Anitye Bhoga Vastuni. Next he says, Tad Vairagyam Jihasaya Darshana Shravanadivihi Dehadi Brahma Paryante Anitye Bhoga Vastuni. Then he says, what is Vairagya? Vairagyam Jihasaya Darshana Shravanadivihi Dehadi Brahma Paryante Anitye Bhoga Vastuni. Vairagya means starting from the body up to Parabrahma Vastu, everything is changing, it will disappear, it totally goes away. It has no constant identity to remain in the same way, same form. Everything will go away, everything will change, everything will disappear. What has appeared will disappear from the body onwards up to the Brahmaloka. That means the whole universe, the world, and everything will disappear. So that is what Vairagya. So if you remember this correctly, then what happens? The desire to give up as much as, all these pleasures. Because once you know correctly, these things will not help us to grow spiritually. If I'm more attached by seeing and enjoying my life, Darshana Shravanadivihi means I'm always immersed outwardly in the world. I enjoy myself. I want to enjoy myself. I want to listen good music. I want to go for an adventure. I want to make more money. I want to make my people happy. So outward. So when the mind is always towards outward, our sense organs, our karmendriya, jnanendriya, everything is working in that direction, nothing will happen. We are born and will die again, and again we are caught up in the cycle. So Acharya says, the person who develops this discrimination, these things are temporary. Okay. What is important? Let me concentrate something towards God. Let me concentrate something to know the purpose of my birth itself. Again, we come back to the same point. Very few will think like that. So that is Vairagya. Why I am born? Okay, everybody is born. I have seen. See, if you cross 60, your age, you will understand these points very well. You have seen so much ups and downs in your whole family, in the entire world where you are associated with your friends and foes. How much ups and downs. Everybody is running after. It is a big rat race you call. And you remember, you are also a part of that rat race of making money, thinking that the money will bring happiness. Yes, happiness temporarily. Happiness is different. Mental peace is different. See, you are never contented in life, Allah. Why? You are running after pleasures. So, gradually detaching that mind from that, attaching the mind towards God, the goal towards God, that is really what is called as Vairagya. So again he says, Virajya Vishya Vrata Dosha Drishtya Muhurmuhu Swalakshe Niyatavastha Manasa Shama Uchyate. Shama Uchyate. Now he's talking about Shama. Virajya Vishya Vrata Dosha Drishtya Muhurmuhu Virajya Vishya Vratat Dosha Drishtya Muhurmuhu Swalakshe Niyatavastha Manasah Shama Uchyate. Manasaha Swalakshe Niyatavastha Shama Uchyate. Acharya is making clear. That means what? Now he is talking about Shama. Shama andre ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಷಯ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ನೋಡಿ, ವೇದಾಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಷಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ವಿಷಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಆನಂದವನ್ನ, ರಂಜನೆಯನ್ನ, ಆಹ್ಲಾದವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಭೋಗ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು, the sensory objects which give us pleasure, that is Vishaya. Sensory objects. ಭೋಗ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿಷಯ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಬರೀ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಶಮ ಆಗಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಶಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಆ ಮನಸ್ಸು, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಕಣ್ಣು ನೋಡುತ್ತೆ, ಕಿವಿ ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ಬಾಯಿ ರುಚಿ ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುತ್ತೆ, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ತಡೆಯೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ತಡೆಯೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿಯೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಶಮ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ Acharya is meaning here, Shama means your gradual control of the mind here. See, mind is flowing towards all sensory pleasures around you. So as much as possible you control it. Try to avoid going out as much as possible. Try to sit quietly, calmly, silently. Avoid talking as much as possible. All Mahatmas say that. The more you talk, the more your mind goes outside. The more you remain calm and serene and silent. That is mauna. See, your mind becomes adjusted to that. All Mahatmas, including Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, they have made this point very clear. He says to the householders, see, you're busy in your samsara. Once in a way, for 10 days or 15 days or a week or 4 days or 5 days, whatever, you go out of the samsara. Stay alone. Stay alone in ekanta. That is very important for spiritual growth. Paramahamsa ji used to say like that. Very important for spiritual growth. Staying in ekanta means in solitude, literal sense. In the real sense, mental solitude. See, once you develop in the ladder of spiritual sadhana, by the grace of Guru, what happens? Even if you are in the midst of, in your house, in a small room, in a small middle class family, in a congested locality, full of sounds and vibrations and talkings and people walking, talking around you, outside the road, all the sounds will disturb you. You don't find solitude, correct? But if you go higher up in the ladder of sadhana, when you achieve mental solitude in the deep meditative state, all these things you will never bother. They will never upset you. They will never distract you. That is at higher level. To achieve that, beginning, at least sit in a solitude place. Sit in ekanta. Practice mauna, speechless. See, some people, One day in a week, they remain speechless. Yes, fine. Beginning, you need such controls. Later, you develop that automatically by the grace of Guru or God. I am talking from the self-experience, not bookish knowledge, not intellectual knowledge. I'll just give one small example. It may help somebody, I don't know. In the beginning, when Guru told me to sit on meditation, it was not possible. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, I used to get up. Because mind never allowed the body to sit. It went on finding so many ways to get up. So because of the disc problem, I have an injured disc due to accident in 1982. Oh, it is giving me a lot of pain. So get up. Some reason, some excuse like that. Later what I did, I took a alarm time clock, set the watch, alarm for 10 minutes. Then started sitting. That 10 minutes became 10 hours for me in the mind, because the mind was just waiting when the alarm clock will ring. Not on meditation at all. Not on meditation. The mind was focused on alarm clock only. This went on not for one day, months together, grace of the Guru. Later a stage came, alarm timepiece was given up, everything was given up, and no botheration at all by the grace of the Guru, because he took care of himself. So it goes on by itself without my knowledge at all, even now. So that is what we call Guru's grace. So Acharya is talking here, Virajya Vishyavrata, give up Vishyavrata, sensory pleasures. Concentrate your mind. So control the mind. Control the mind. That is Shama. So by the Guru Sankalpa, today's discourse, I am stopping here. After this, there is a short bhajan. After the bhajan, you can please unmute your laptop or mobile, and we can join for a short discussion. Hari Om. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya. Hari Om. You can unmute, yes.
Yes, everybody is unmuted now, sir. People can
Yeah.
unmute themselves and
Yeah.
want to ask
Yes.
questions they can.
Anything is that? Small things to ask?
No questions on chat yet, but this was a
Okay.
mesmerizing discourse from you. We
Yeah,
are-
you can, Allah, for the benefit if some people still are, they're hooked up to the live, you can say 1 or 2 sentences. I will listen. Now, I want to listen. You please speak.
No, that is preposterous, as they say.
Of Sadguru, Paramahatma, both are one and the same. one and the same.
I only am so grateful that not only do I have a path, and a deity, I also have a guru. It is only getting more and more revealed to me as to how blessed this life has been with the presence of the deity and the guru and guru bandhus like you all. It's simply unbelievable grace.
Yeah, you are 100% right, Kailas. 100%, 1000% I would say, because in one particular life of ours where now we are born and we are aware of our birth, we are aware of the identity, physical identity. It is not at all easy to get a guru, because 99% all of us, we are in the mode of ajnana, as we call, as all Mahatmas say. So there is no question at all. See, the very interesting point our Gurudev was talking was, people don't know that they are bound. That is the first basic question, the basic point. See, people don't know that they are bound in samsara by the effect of Maya. They don't know. So once you don't know, there is no question of release from the bondage. All these questions will never come. Their religious aspects are only controlled and guided by the environment they are born and their previous birth impressions. The mind plays such a wonderful trick. Mind gives them that much of opportunity to go in front of a god, fold your hands and pray and come back, or go to a temple, hold your hands, pray and come back, or at the most go to a tirtha yatra because our parents had gone, others had gone, so let me also go to Kashi, let me also go to Rameshwaram, let me also go to Badrinath, so pay my respects and come back. And nowadays, going is now in the form of a chartered bus where packages are announced. So more the time they are on the travel mode and eating mode and sleeping mode, which hotel, how to sleep, there is no hot water, there is no good lavatory, there is no eatable. South Indians always, see, they're very particular of eating, not like us. You give me anything, I will eat. Our eating is to sustain the body. But most of the South Indians, they are particular of the taste, the tongue. So they're with that, what Chardham Yatra, Dodham Yatra, Dasdam Yatra, God only knows. It's only superficial. Superficial. And the mind tells them that, see, you're happy that you have come. So there ends the matter. There ends the matter. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. So rarely when you get a guru by the grace of God, they are highly blessed, highly blessed, highly blessed, highly blessed, because God himself has shown in the form, he has appeared in the form of a guru to uplift, to hold our hands, take us up. So that is why we call those who have guru, they are highly fortunate in this birth. Not that others are unfortunate. Their time has not yet come. See the difference. Their time has not yet come. Maybe in the next birth, maybe after another 2 births, maybe after 10 births, they will also find their guru, if they are sincere. Or even now they may find a guru if they are sincere. God will decide who am you and me to say on these things. It's the grace of God, that's all.
Sir, if you don't mind explaining more about Titiksha, because that is the cornerstone.
Yeah, it will come next. Now he's taking one by one. Now what is Shama, next Dhamma, then Titiksha. There it will come again. There we will take up because for the benefit of others.
Sure.
See, Titiksha, I never heard about this word, all these words. When Gurudev made me to speak first time so there he explained some of the core points in Advaita Siddhanta, including, see, I can just give you a small tip because these things are not to be told in open public. See, remember, Brahma Sutras are not meant to be taught to householders. Brahma Sutras, one of the pillars of the Prasthanatraya, Upanishads, one part. Bhagavad Gita, one part, Brahma Sutras. It's called Uttara Mimamsa or Vedanta Darshana. Unlike Purva Mimamsa, written by Jaimini Maharshi, the disciple of Vyasa Maharshi himself, it's called Purva Mimamsa. It's called simply Mimamsa Shastra. There, Maharshi explains that only by following the Karma Kanda of Vedas, you will get mukti. He emphatically explains that in detail. That is called Mimamsa Shastra. This Upanishad part is different. That comes under Jnana Kanda. Jaimini Maharshi never touches the Jnana Kanda itself. Only Karma Kanda he takes and explains, by doing all these Vedic rituals, you get Jnana. Finish. So everybody followed it, 90% people. Then, same Vyasa Maharshi in the form of Badarayana Maharshi wrote Brahma Sutras. Guru of Jaimini, remember that. In Brahma Sutra, what he said? The short aphorisms, 554 aphorisms or 555 aphorisms are there, sutras. He makes it very clear. These sutras depend mainly on Upanishads. And Upanishads are very clear. So Brahma Sutra is also very clear that only, not by karma alone, by karma kanda, jnana will sprout. Jnana is totally independent. And that jnana will come only through Upanishads, Mahavakyas, listening, Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasana, under the grace of the Guru. Then Kaivalya is reached. So jnana alone responsible for Kaivalya. That is what Brahma Sutras also say. And householders, we are not supposed to read that because it's the highest form of Upadesha. Only celibates, sannyasis, or brahmacharis who are under the Diksha with a Brahmanishta Guru, the Guru will teach Brahma Sutra for them, not to the householder, you and me. No. I was fortunate. Our Gurudev summarized, there are 4 big chapters in Nalakku Adhyayagalu Brahma Sutra. He summarized the chapter and gave me the summary of each chapter, not on one day, on so many sittings. He made it very clear. See, you are a householder, I cannot teach you Brahma Sutra. Yes, but I will give you a summary of that. So there, while teaching that, he went on explaining so many secrets, and the Titiksha is one, he said. That's what I always remember him. Titiksha is such a very important. See, people, even if I explain Kailas ji, they will not understand what it means. Titiksha andre, our Gurudev gave me one beautiful sentence. He said, enjoy your suffering. I ditto, I'm following that even today at the age of 74, with all the health problems, I can't sit for a long time, I can't walk at all. So many ailments, God knows. But Gurudev told me, enjoy your suffering. I am really enjoying it. What does it mean? I'll explain that later. But enjoy the suffering, Andre. Titiksha, once you know that Karma Siddhanta very well, once you internalize Karma Siddhanta, you will know all the problems, the physical problems, health problems, or the chronic diseases, or mental afflictions. As I told earlier, something happens. Whole life we worry. Suppose, see, a child is born in my family, born deaf and dumb. What you will do? I have seen that. A child is born who is suffering with Down syndrome, cretinism, abnormal growth of the brain. The body grows, but the brain will not grow. We call cretin child, Down syndromic child. These are scientific words we use in biology. So what do, parents? Lifelong the parents will suffer because they will see that boy or a girl suffering from that Down syndrome, not able to sit and stand even at the age of 5, always on the bed like a child. Somebody has to feed, somebody has to remove the fecal matter, somebody has to clean the urine. 5 or 6 year or 10-year-old child. So we call generally mentally retarded. That is a one word, but it has number of examples, number of variations. So what happens? Mind, parents, look at them. They suffer till their last breath. Till their last breath. I have seen one lady, very young enough, died last year. A relative of mine, at the age of 55, she died because her son, only son, was born deaf and dumb. Now the son is 30-year-old. I know how she was suffering in the mind, telling me all the time, my close relative. So that is suffering, suffering. But titiksha means, once you know what is titiksha, you will not suffer mentally at all. Your mind becomes poised and equanimous. There is no ill feeling, there is no good feeling, you just become a witness. You don't hold anybody responsible for your problems. You, Kailashji, you remember, majority in the world, even in our country, they say, oh, all the problems, so many problems, I am such a good person, I am a good woman. Look, why God has given me all the problems? Why me only? See, there is a famous statement. Why me only? I think it is an American phrase I have heard somewhere, or a European phrase. Why me only, God? Why are you giving me only all the problems? See, this is mental worry. Always they are worried. So they will not understand what is titiksha. Titiksha means, you know very well, God is not responsible for my problems. God is not at all responsible for my ailments, crisis, financial, moral, family crisis, separation, divorce, or fighting between the children, fighting between the wife. God is not responsible. It is what I have to endure in this life as a prarabdha. It has come as the gift, as the fruit of my own karmas I did in the last birth, in some last births, previous births. So that I am facing it now. So remembering that, let me be a witness, no ill feeling towards anybody.
So accept
Anybody responsible for my problem. Correct? That is titiksha.
So acceptance and surrender.
Yes.
Yes,
with an open heart. Yes. And Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi used to say this point. He used to say, when people are happy mode, when they get whatever they want in life, they always prostrate in front of God. God, you have given me this, I am grateful to you. God, you have given me that. But when they suffer suddenly, they never say, God, you have given me the suffering. Thank you. This is exactly Bhagavan said. Titiksha is that.
Amazing response, sir. Thank you so much.
Titiksha also means, it's not that, simply you sit in a corner and do your duty sincerely. Suppose there's a chronic disease, our Gurudev was telling. Try to get remedy from the doctor. Yes. Titiksha doesn't mean that, okay, I will sit here. No. Try to get a remedy. If there is a problem in the family, try to find a solution for that. At the same time, mind should be calm and serene and quiet and laughing. Laughing in the sense, as a good, enjoy the suffering. I remember that word, enjoy your suffering mentally. Don't show it by the face. That's why last time I remember, you should be a very good actor in life. All jnanis are the greatest and the greatest actors in life. In the worldly life, and they move with people like us, they are the very fine actors. They laugh with you, they scold you, they enjoy, they eat sometime, whatever you give. Sometimes they will not eat whatever you give. They will say, you give me that. They will say, you give me this, you bring that. It's all divine drama. Pure divine drama.
I remember a story from Bhagavad Adi Shankara's life that I read recently, where he takes his shishyas, 8 of them, and he goes there. It's night time in the village. So they go to the only house that is open is a prostitute's house. So Bhagavan Shankara says, let's go and stay there. Shishyas are really surprised and they say, what is happening to our Bhagavan? But then, they said, okay, fine, let's actually go and stay. So they go and stay, and they are offered all good food. They eat all good food. Bhagwan also eats all good food. And, all the entertainment is given. Bhagwan Shankara says, sure. Next morning, when they walk out, Bhagwan Shankara goes to a glass maker, and he has a very hot glass, melted glass there. He says, pour a cup for me, please. And he looks back and forth, and he's surprised, right? And then he anyway pours it. Shankara drinks it. And he asks Shishyas also to drink it. He says, hey, you did everything I did yesterday, but you do this also.
Yeah, I have read the story. That is called, some of the legendary stories attached to the Shankara Vijaya.
I see.
These are called legendary stories attached. They call it as legendary stories supplemented, because the historical authenticity nobody can give, by record. But it is there in our human mind for thousands of years. It is. So that means from mouth to mouth it has come. It is true. Only thing, in a writing it is not there. In writing it is not there. So this is one important story. Yes, I have read about it. Wonderful story.
So as you said, all the great yogis, they are great actors. Just because they do it, it doesn't mean we have to we have to do it also.
Exactly. You are 100% right in that. Their action or acting, whatever you call, only they know it. See, we should not emulate that.
Sir, there is a question by Karthik ji. Karthik ji, you want to ask the question, please?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
For me.
Yeah, please.
I think it is Ketaki Joshi who is asking a question.
Sure, ji. Please.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Ketaki ji she's asking.
Yeah, that is Joshi. Yeah.
Brahman is relatively real relatively to Jagan, but this is again in terms of time, which is again relative. So how do we negotiate this puzzle?
The question itself is not very correct, Joshi ji. See, you are talking from the standpoint of human mind, human measurement, human psyche, human intelligence. But this human intelligence or the mind or whatever our reasoning capacity, what we call as a logical thinking, as a logician. See, there is one darshana called Nyaya Darshana in Vedanta. Nyaya Darshana has been discarded by Adi Shankaracharya because it propounds only Advaita Siddhanta. So the people who follow Nyaya Siddhanta called Nayayikas. Just like there is a Vaisheshika Siddhanta propounded by Rishi Kanada. Sankhya Siddhanta, Sankhya Darshana propounded by great sage Mahamuni. Yoga Siddhanta propounded by great sage Patanjali. All these darshanas are there. So from the standpoint of logicians or Nayayikas, this point is there because the time frame, time measurement doesn't come into the picture at all when we are talking something beyond time. What is beyond time? What is beyond our comprehension? What is beyond our understanding? Which cannot be, neither you can explain that, nor you will understand that by explanation. Because if you want to explain, it becomes a false explanation. If I have to talk about attributes of Brahma or Paramapadartha, it's foolishness. Because I am talking in Ajnana only. You cannot talk when Vedas, Upanishads themselves could not say anything about Brahma, attributes of Brahma or characters of Brahma. You cannot quantify, you cannot qualify. Everything is beyond. So our human time frame, human time scale, nothing will fit in here at all. So there is no subject-object comparison at all. This is how I can just touch upon. Anything else?
Thank you, sir. Those were the questions for
Thank you. Hari Om, sir. Hari Om.
Thank you. Sorry, there were some interruptions in the middle.
Yeah, I could hear that probably they had not, ನನಗೆ confusion, mute, I think they had not muted it.
ಅಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ದೇರ್. Became mute, and there was no way for us to let you know that you were on mute. So
I think last week ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Last there was no problem. Correct. So I will now I am checking the laptop of Shanaiji. There in the laptop it is written mute. So I think
it had become mute. So if you click on that, or by accidentally if you have touched that button, then
now it is mute only, but you are talking to me, correct?
No, it's not mute, sir. You are unmute.
No. In the laptop.
No, if you click that, you'll become mute. Yes. See, now you are mute.
So there is some difference. There is some problem here. So it should be mute position, sir. Mute position. ಅಲ್ಲ, you can talk ಅಂತ.
ಈಗ ಯಾರು ನಾನೇ ನನಗಿನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ
ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್